I'd like to get a lawnmower. You know those kind of lawnmower, those driving lawnmowers, like a Toro lawnmower. Across the, how long would it take to drive across the country with a woman with huge tits, with her top off? She could take her top off. She's got the huge tits bouncing, and a lawnmower, drive across the country. And then I'd like to stop at a bar out west, maybe in Texas. So it'd be me and this big, beautiful woman with no shirt on and huge tits and a lawnmower that you can drive. Drive it all across the country down Route 66. We come to a bar in Texas. And then we get drunk, and then I tell them this story. This is a story that I tell them. Jack and Penelope are partying with a bunch of their friends on a beach in Santa Barbara, California. With Penelope, suddenly, Penelope seems to cross into another realm. It was Penelope's turn to go to the car for supplies when she suddenly vanished. Penelope, where the fuck are you? Can you fucking hear me? How the fuck did this happen? Jake searches the fucking perimeter of the fucking beach, but cannot seem to fucking find Penelope. Meanwhile, Penelope has found herself in a fucking shack in a forest in Park Ridge, Illinois. It seems as though there's a passageway through time and space that connects Park Ridge, Illinois to a beach in Santa Barbara, California. Penelope walks out of the shack into a bright sunny day and is greeted by a nymphomaniac named Maud. A tall woman with purple hair and green eyes. So pleased to meet you. What is your name? Hi, I'm Penelope. I'm quite out of sorts at the moment. I was on a beach in Santa Barbara, California. Now, here I am in a forest in Park Ridge. How is that possible? You words in real Santa Barbara, California. Penelope, you crossed over into a simulated version of Santa Barbara, California. What else can I say in this improvisational? I'm just trying to freak you out. I want you to go mental, and I just want you to be insane. Okay? Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can drive you crazy. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay. Let's see. So I'm looking at these posters on my wall. I got this poster of Billie Eilish. Okay, she's sitting in a bed, and it's next to a poster of a movie called Popcorn. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but it's it stars Jill Schoen and Tom Villard. Okay. The slogan for Popcorn. Okay, what it says, The Possessor, that was the name of the main character. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. That's great, isn't it? Anyway, so Popcorn. So what I was thinking, they've done so many Hollywood remakes in the past. Why don't they remake Popcorn? I could be the director. Billie Eilish could be in the role that was formerly played by Jill Schoen. Jill Schoen could be the producer, and you can get some other cast members. And once we get this thing produced, we can take it. We can show it on the beach in Santa Barbara, California. Okay, here's my new idea. Billie Eilish and I produce a remake of the movie Popcorn. Okay. We put it on the big screen on a beach in Santa Barbara, California. And after a viewing of the after like a viewing of the movie on the beach, then Katy Perry will come out and give a concert. She'll give a concert of new songs that she wrote that were inspired by the movie Popcorn. That's a great idea. So just to reiterate, Billie Eilish and me, we do a remake of the movie Popcorn. Okay. We premiere this remake of the movie Popcorn, starring Billie Eilish in the role of Jill Schoen, and I would be the starring opposite her. This movie would premiere on a beach in Santa Barbara, California. And after the showing of the movie, Katy Perry would come out and perform a whole new album of songs that she wrote that were inspired by the movie Popcorn. I'm going to have to get right on the phone and talk to both Billie Eilish and Katy Perry about this, because I think this is too big of an opportunity to miss. Yeah, I think that's a realistic idea to think that I can make that happen. Don't you? Anyways, okay, so that's a new idea. I hope somebody's going to chomp at the bit on that one for sure. I think so. Okay, let's see. What else? I'll get out another notebook. See what else I got. Yep. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Which notebook? Which one do you think I should take out? I don't know. Just this is really good. Let's go over this script. I like this script a lot. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. Marvin, an interior designer employed by Modern Designs in Sherman Oaks, California, and his wife, Desiree, a swimming coach at UCLA. Our happy and extremely happy couple living in exquisite luxury in a suburban house in suburban Los Angeles. Marvin gets home for the evening after a long day of working on interior design concepts to greet his wife. Home, Desiree. It's so good to see you. What's for dinner? Pot roast. It should be delicious. I've invited my new friend Steve and his new girlfriend Margaret over for dinner tonight. That's wonderful, Desiree. I certainly look forward to meeting them. At what time shall they be arriving? 7 o'clock tonight. Terrific. Steve and Margaret arrive a few minutes late for the dinner party. Steve, a tall but fat gentleman, appears at their front door with Margaret leaning against him. How nice to meet you, Marvin. This is my girlfriend, Margaret. Hi, Margaret. Don't you look pretty? Margaret just stares at Marvin with dead eyes and doesn't talk. Let's eat. Your girlfriend isn't the liveliest person I've ever met, Steve. Maybe she'll perk up later. Okay, let's dine. Marvin, Desiree, Margaret, and Steve sit at the dining room table for dinner. Can you pass me the mashed potatoes, Marvin? Sure, Steve. Marvin passes Steve the potatoes. Steve begins to spoon large lumps of potatoes into Margaret's mouth. What the fuck are you doing, Steve? I'm feeding my girlfriend. I can see that. But why doesn't she just eat food by herself? Why do you shove food into her mouth? Why would you do that, Steve? Why, I should ask? That's how we do it, Marvin. So, Margaret, how was your day? Steve manipulates Margaret's mouth with his hands and talks to her like a ventriloquist. It was very pleasant, Marvin. Steve and I had breakfast at a fancy restaurant. We did some yard work in the afternoon. Now, here we are. Now, that's weird. You are talking to Margaret as though she's a puppet and you are a ventriloquist. Also, she has dirt on her and grass. What gives? Okay, Marvin, I'll tell you. Margaret is a dead person that I dug up from the cemetery yesterday. I was invited over to your place for dinner tonight, and I felt bad that I didn't have a date, so I just brought her. So you're not a ventriloquist? No, Marvin. I want to be a ventriloquist. What a beautiful house you have. It's awesome to be here for the evening. Mm, mm, mm-hmm, mm, mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm, mm-mm, mm-hmm. Thanks. Have you ever had sex with the dead? No, Steve. When they are dead, I usually consider them to be inappropriate for that. It's so sensual. You should try it. Marvin looks to his wife, Desiree, for her approval. Would you care if I had sex with Margaret, being that she's dead? I don't care, Marvin. I had sex with her. When you have sex with a dead person, it can be thoroughly fulfilling. She may be dead, but in some ways, truly alive. So sure, Marvin, you may bring that dead dame back to life. Oh. Thanks, Desiree. What a splendid day this has been. Thanks for coming over. I will see you. Let's see if there's any other good stories in this notebook. Okay. Oh, okay. Just trying to be funny. Okay. Wait a minute. I have an idea. Let's analyze a Katy Perry song. I love doing that too. We'll analyze a Katy Perry song for the meaning, the deep meaning behind one of her songs, and then I'll go back to maybe another story, or I'll decide when the time comes. Let's see. Let's see. Katy Perry story song. Analyze it. Growing Pains. Remember the song Growing Pains? Okay. It's on her first album. It's a religious album. Okay. I'll sing out the melody. You would think that I could find a simple song, a photograph of mine to show this public eye what I have to offer. Okay. So what does she mean by that? I may not have a PhD or speak in eloquent philosophy. I'm nothing more than simply me, you see. So I think she wrote this song when she was like 16 or 17. That's pretty impressive. I mean, most people at that age can hardly spell. Okay. So let's see. So that's exactly what it's about. Growing pains. She's going through growing pains. She's getting older. Well, she's going, she's growing up. She's a teenager and she's trying to rationalize the world, and she's trying to decide what path she wants to take in life. She's having the usual struggles, that the growing pains, the usual struggles that teenagers have. She's presented with a world that's very ambiguous to her, and she's trying to make sense out of it and find what's the meaning of anything. What's the meaning of life? I mean, why even bother? What's life all about? She's trying to find a way to live a life of purpose and trying to find the good in other people, and she's seeing some good and some bad. Something like that. I think maybe. What do you think? Anyways, what I am trying to say is I'm just a babe in so many ways. So she was a really precocious young girl, but she says she's just a babe in so many ways. She's kind of hanging on to her juvenile side or immaturity. She's actually kind of a bizarre combination of a mature, wise beyond her years type of soul mixed in with somebody who has proclivities and tendencies to behave in a juvenile type of silly, immature manner. It's pretty cool. I'm still growing, still stretching. Still breaking in these new shoes, looking for a way to make a mark of my own. I'm just a spring chick whippy, and there's this part of life, so there's no need to fear these growing pains that I'm going through. So, you could see, I mean, if you analyze these lyrics, that she was a very ambitious person right from the time she was like 16 years old. She was like a very ambitious person, and she's all she knows is that she wants to make her mark in the world, and she sure has. You could see her live in um, Las Vegas performing. I mean, she's got some, she holds records in like the music industry, like most like number one singles and stuff like that. She's really kind of become like a legendary figure in music. Um, I don't regret. I'm not ashamed that I haven't yet begun to speak with ways as the wisest men will perhaps someday. But for now, I'm grateful to be a part of the family tree while the man upstairs does his work on me. The man upstairs, yeah, she's referring to. It's a job that may take an eternity to complete. Just when I've learned all I can, these growing pains up and kick on and again. So it's kind of like, it's almost kind of bizarre because I've seen some of these videos of her, like when she's a teenager with her acoustic guitar, she's performing in front of a live audience. She's got these very sophisticated lyrics, and she's even got some really cool like guitar riffs and everything, and just some really insightful lyrics and some like great melodies. And it's kind of amazing to see this like young person coming up with stuff. I mean, most people can't, and I think that's kind of an amazing talent that I really admire. I mean, and the confidence and like the lack of like self consciousness to self. Um, I mean, not being self conscious to be able to get up on stage and perform this stuff. I mean, it's kind of amazing. Time after time, or one more time and again, will ever find the most? It's the lessons in our lives that make us wise. But young or old, I am told it's the same. Oh, these pains never go away, so I'll just keep on trying. What I'm trying to say is, I'm just a babe in so many ways. I'm still growing, still stretching. Just a babe. So breaking into these new shoes, looking for a way to make a mark of my own. What band there is part of this? So that's a really good song. You got to check it out on YouTube. Okay. So yeah, I do think that's a good idea to do a remake of Popcorn with. Okay, so it's going to be with Billie Eilish and in the as the main character. Um, that was originally portrayed by Jill Sholin, and I would be starring opposite her. So this movie would premiere at a beach in Santa Barbara, California, and Katy Perry would write a new album of songs inspired by the original movie Popcorn. I hope she saw that movie. Um, so just to reiterate, Billie Eilish would produce a movie with me that was a remake of Popcorn. The movie would premiere on a beach in Santa Barbara, California. Right after the movie, Katy Perry would perform a concert of songs that she wrote that were inspired by the movie Popcorn. So that's my goal, to get that accomplished. That's just one of my goals. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn. Buy a bag. Go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn. Buy a bag. Go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down a theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. The Possessor. 15 years ago, he murdered his family on stage and burned down the theater. Tonight, he's back for an encore. Popcorn, buy a bag, go home in a box. Okay, so that was, okay. That's, that's okay. What else can I say in my live YouTube stream? Let me see. So I like the idea of driving across the country on a lawnmower that you can drive with a woman with huge tits in the passenger seat. The tits might be bouncing as we drive. If we hit a bump, then I think the tits will bounce. I think if we hit a bump, then the tits will bounce. What do you think? And then we could drive across the country like that. And then we could go to a bar in Texas. And then if I see Billie Eilish and Katy Perry there, I could tell them about my ideas about, everything stuff I was talking about. Like, and, okay. So I know it's kind of like that would be like a series of very improbable events, but you never know what's possible in life, do you? Mm-hmm. So what else? What else do I got to say? I told you I have a lot to say. You just got to stop and listen. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. I told you I got a lot to say. You just gotta stop and listen. Okay, so we got a little bit of dead air, but I'm trying to think what else to say. Let's see. It's not so much what you say, but it's how you say it that really matters. Because if I have nothing to say, but I say it in a certain way, a way in which I put emphasis on the importance or the relevance of the thing that I said, then that which I have said is something that is said in such a way that the meaning of what I have said becomes all the more profound because of the way I said it. So if I say it in a certain way, then it's going to it can be construed as something that has been said, something that somebody said, something that a person said that has significant importance because of the way in which the person said it. So if I say something that I want to say, something that I feel that needs to be said, and I say it, and even if what I want to say, let's say there's something that I want to say, if I let's say that there's something that I want to say, and I think it should be said. I think it's important that it is said. And let's say that what I think that I should say may not be the most profound thing to have said once I have said it. But if I say said thing in such a way that I say it, I say it, it's just the way that I say it that will make it seem like something that has a lot of meaning and significance once I've said it. So if you say something, let's say you say something that you think that should be said, but you don't think it's something that somebody else would say, but you think that you want to say it because you think that it should be said. That being said, somebody else might say, well, why would you say that? But you just say that, well, I think it should have been said. But if I say it in a way that, if I say it in a certain way, then somebody might say that, yes, it's good that you said that because it's the way that you said it that gave it significance. Now, it's not what you said that was so worth saying. It was the way that you said it. You follow me? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, let me see. What else should I say? I'll see you soon.